Welcome back to the Substantiate Podcast. I'm the host, William Glasser. We're coming back at it with week 7 of these random sort of interview questions. So you've just got, hopefully, only a few more of these episodes coming, and then eventually we'll be back with hypothetical sports matchups in Season 4. Season 4. Anyway, in the meantime, we're just going to continue on with these Poddex questions, and hopefully you enjoy these episodes somewhat, and I'm just hoping that you don't forget about the podcast over the summer. So anyway, continuing on with the first question today, what is something that has been stolen from you? So I'm not sure how much or if anything has ever been stolen from me or robbed, but although actually once we were at Costco and all of a sudden we turned around and our cart was gone. Fortunately, we didn't have anything in the cart except for like the discount book of all the different deals, but I guess you could say that was stolen from us, but also 2 years in a row for Christmas break, we went on vacation, and 2 years in a row, my bag was lost. And eventually it showed up in our destination later on. I think 1 year was later that day, and the other year was the next day. But that's not exactly stolen, but it's annoying because something was taken from me. So I think it's close enough for the sake of this. So the next thing here is repurpose a blog post that you wrote. So for this one, I'm just going to go through my Twitter, and some of these are actually blog posts that I wrote for the Statement Games blog, which is blog.statementgames.com. And here we go. So we'll start. I wrote an article for Sunday Night Baseball. The Cardinals were playing the Braves, and in that Sunday Night Baseball article, I also looked into a bit like the Cardinals franchise, and at the time is when these stats are, so from, sometime in June, but basically the Cardinals are paying Matt Carpenter $18.5 million this year. I think that's the second year in a 2-year deal of the same price each year. And guess what? He's batting 179 as of when I tweeted that. Right. Now you might think, okay, it's just one bad contract. Nothing too much to worry about. No big deal. But you would be wrong. Paul Goldschmidt, $26 million per year, and he's making that this year while batting just .245. And in that article, if you go and read it, I talk about a lot of, he's had a bit of a drop-off in his play recently over the last few years. So is Matt Carpenter. And in that article, I think I compared all of their stats from the past few years. Here, I'll click on it now. See what comes up on that link that I wrote about it. So Cardinals hitting. At the time, Nolan Arenado was 0 for his last 20. Not too great. But basically, the story with the Cardinals is they haven't been getting younger, obviously. They've got these aging veterans, and then they have like Jack Flaherty, and I think like Tyler O'Neill, some young guys. But overall, the veterans make up a large part of the team, and they can't really afford to lose that and then still expect to be competing for a World Series. So basically, like Yadier Molina, since the beginning of 2018, he's batting .265. This year, he's batted .263, so no real drop off there. But, and then here I go, unlike Molina, 10-year veteran Matt Carpenter has seen a significant drop-off since 2018, when he placed 9th in MVP voting. That season, he batted .257 with 36 homers. The next year, in 2019, he batted .226, right, so .257 to .226, with just 15 home runs. Big drop off, but I think he might have played less games that year. Not sure. And then in 2020, I took how many games he played over the 60 game stretch, and then I expanded that to the whole 162 games and how many homers he had. So in 2020, he was on pace to bat 186, which was his real average, with 11 homers. Right, so that's not great. And then this season, he's on pace to bat 179 with 7 homers. So things are not going in the right direction for him. And yeah, so he's on the second year deal of a 2-year, or on the second year of a 2-year deal. And I really don't see them bringing him back again next year. All right, Paul Goldschmidt has definitely not lived up to $26 million salary. He has seen a drop-off since 2020. He's batting .245 with an on-base percentage of .310. In 2020, he batted .304 with an on-base of .417. So .245 versus .304 and .310 versus .417. Big drop-off. The 33-year-old, who is placed top 20 in MVP voting, right, and that's just in the NL, 7 of the last 8 years, right, so he's been pretty consistently great, and I think he even came in second a couple of times, but he's now really exiting his prime. And then the last player I'm going to talk about here is basically Nolan Arenado, like I mentioned before, $35 million, and he's batting .266. And so I'm interested to see that, like, by the time you're listening to this, I think it'll be July 28th, and how much have things changed since then? So, because I'll probably forget to go back and check, go send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, send me an email, substantiatepod@gmail.com, all those links down in the show notes, and let me know how much have things changed, who's played better, who's played worse, who's played the same up to that point, and then eventually when I get back and I read those, I'll take a look at them and we'll get to look at that and have some fun. So, yeah, that basically is what's going on there. Hopefully this was a fun episode for you. I definitely enjoyed getting into that Cardinals stuff. Maybe I'll do more stuff like that in the future. But in the meantime, I guess we'll sign off here for today. Come back next Wednesday. New episode again. Thank you for listening to this episode of Substantiate. The best way to help support the show is to, number 1, tell your friends about Substantiate. That is the number 1 way to support us. The second way is to leave us a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Number 3, follow us at SubstantiatePod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Hello, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Dr. Issues.
And we're hosts of Capes on the Couch, the podcast where comics get counseling.
Superheroes don't always get to go home happy. That's where we come in.
We offer psychiatric and mental health analysis of comic book characters.
So check us out at capesonthecouch.live and across all social media platforms at Capes on the Couch.